Hi, everybody. Yes, welcome to The Shade's Tale. This is an Ironclaw 2nd edition role-playing actual play game, and I'm here with the crew who are going to introduce right now, starting with Theta. Theta, tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm playing Harmon, the donkey soldier, actually a mule. Personality's relentless. Motto is I am stronger. I have the goal to send a message to the syndicate, and I have to deal with Rodolfo.
All right, and next up we have Arcloid playing Connor.
Yes, I'm Mark Lloyd. I play Connor Lever de Eclavis, the brazen raccoon knight errant, whose motto is one hand washes the other, and I believe he has the same goals as Harmon.
Okay, and next up we have Griffin.
Hey everybody, I'm playing the anonymous doctor. He's an armadillo almoner. He with a phlegmatic personality. His motto is first do no harm, second get paid.
All right, and last up we have Rafferty.
Hello world! Yes, today I'm playing Anushka, the microbat messenger, where my motto is know no fear and serve with joy. I also need to deal with Rodolfo and send a message to that syndicate.
Excellent. And I'm Red. I don't actually often introduce myself on these, but I probably should. And before we get started today, I'm going to do a quick recap of what happened last session. So, you all have been on the trail of one cognoscente bat named Rodolfo for quite some time now. You tracked him to the Doloro town of Tuskdun, where he had been hiding in the employ of the Lesemon II noble family. You guys got yourselves an invitation to their fancy dinner party and confronted Rodolfo, at which point he revealed himself by puppeteering the head of the household and escaping, which ended in kind of an aerial fight with our microbat Anushka. After that, and this is where we pick up last session, you all decided to track him down. You asked around in the town of Tuskdun. You tracked down the eldest daughter of the Lesemon II family, B, who has befriended Rodolfo. You got into a tussle with a scorpion apothecary, and through this, you guys had determined that Rodolfo quite possibly has fled to Burgess, the Doloro city across the river of Laore. After that, Harmon, the doctor, and Anushka went to investigate a friend of Harmon's who had been caretaking for a quite large horse soldier, ex of Wardepois soldier, who you guys suspected would have been involved in these basically desecration of the sacred groves of the Doloro territory. You tracked him down in the process of cutting down one of these trees in the sacred grove. There was a fight, and sadly, Harmon's friend Nell was slain in the process. Where we pick things up, Hugo, having escaped the mind control that Nell the mouse had him under her bewitching spell, he is basically about to storm off. But the doctor, Anonymous, I believe, said that he had some questions for Hugo before he went, and that is where we were going to pick up. So, if we check out the map, we're still basically where we were. I'm going to leave it here because I don't exactly know how this is going to go. But for the time being, Hugo is in the process of making his exit, and Nell, the dead body of Nell anyway, is cradled in his arms. He's no longer confused. So, yes. So Hugo, once again, a large black-furred horse soldier, a giant. He actually is almost the same stature of our mule Harmon, who he himself is also a giant. And he was ensorcelled to attack Harmon, but currently is just has regained his senses, is not sure what exactly went on here, but is sure that Nell is dead and that Harmon is the one who killed her.
Alright.
I mean, we saw it.
Yup.
Oh yeah.
We're
And-
witnesses.
Yeah, and I think where last we left off, I think the doctor had some questions about Nell's associates.
Right, the last thing that was said was the doctor, hey, we're not done here, which is the ballsiest thing to say to an angry giant.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the doctor isn't
Not long
necessarily
for this world.
smart. But alright. So the doctor is going to walk with Hugo. The doctor intends to go to the same place because he needs to see if Nell has any missives, which would be back at their home, he assumes. That's probably where Hugo's going, right? Um, so he's going to go ahead and look at Hugo, and we'll walk with him and ask. There's been quite a lot happening with the wars that people have been trying to start. I I have to ask, Nell, did she ever speak to a bat?
All
What?
right. Um, that's true. Harmon just pointed out that you guys have been to Nell's home. You do kind of know where he's going.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I'm gonna say that right away. Hugo is not in the mood to talk, so I am going to ask for a roll from you. Um, let's get Will. It doesn't sound like you're trying to trick him at all. Let's get Will and I want to say Will and negotiation. Um,
hmm
because I don't see anything that actually fits better here. Um,
Questioning would probably also be appropriate. Or
questioning,
inquiry.
inquiry. Yes, inquiry might actually be better.
All right. Which same role for me technically, but well, it's
Okay,
the appropriate role now.
there you go.
Ah, no successes. I think I already used my. Wait, no, the day's young. I don't think I even did anything last time, so I'm gonna roll my personality and get at least
Okay,
one.
go for it.
All right, there we go. I at least cracked the nut a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah. All right. So Hugo is furious, but there's something sort of calming about your. You said your personality is phlegmatic, so like
hmm
very measured and reasoned.
hmm
And perhaps that is um he seems to respond to that. He is completely clammed up, but as you ask him these questions more and more, his demeanor softens somewhat, and he will say, "You are asking the wrong person. Nell was uh, a sweet woman, innocent. She would not have been wrapped up in any of the of this political nonsense that you speak."
Well, tearing down the sacred grove is a political action in and of itself, is it not? It's not done
Um,
without purpose, I would assume. She seemed an intelligent person.
uh, he it seems like for the first time he's actually taken notice of where he is,
hmm
um, and yeah, he says, I know not how I came to be in this place, but I I took no actions, political or otherwise. I was we were walking here. We must have been ambushed. I don't know why. I can't remember.
It would be the ensorcelment. It is typical of that magic. Your head should be foggy, and maybe the back of it should be throbbing a little bit. At least that's what I hear often from patients.
Yeah, you kind of stop him in his tracks, and he touches his temples, and there's a moment where he seems like he desperately wants to ask you a question, but the moment passes. He shakes his head. He says, "I'm done with you. Leave me, uh, unless you want to join the corpses here," and sort of storms ahead.
I will ask nothing more for you. And the doctor will let him go. He's not going to press this, I think. He knows his head could get chopped off.
He knows he's playing a dangerous game here. Understandable. We'll let him go. Yeah. Yep.
Yep,
At this
that's right.
point,
We were in control of that situation.
right? I have to imagine that just based on the scale, if Hugo was just walking at a normal pace, the doctor would have to be like jogging to keep up with him,
Oh
let
yeah,
alone
absolutely. Especially if he's like wearing his armor or something. In which case, there's no chance.
yeah. So all right then. So to reiterate sort of the scene here, um you guys have uncovered, actually, due to Anushka's findings, you guys have uncovered the Grove of Sorrows, one of the secret Doloro sacred groves. There are several in this area, apparently. There are several guards who have pledged themselves to the hierarchy, the hierarchs. Basically, they're sort of like sacred holy guard knights, essentially. And Hugo has left pretty much all of
Wait,
them
did you call the
dead on the
hierarchs the
ground.
knights? The Vidams are the knights. The hierarchs are the priests.
Uh, yes. I mean, the
Yeah.
what are they called? I know that
Right.
they have like a special caste of knight that serve them.
Well, so the hierarchs of Lutara subscribe to the Reed, the idea that anything you do in this world comes back to you threefold, which means if you want to live a peaceful life or engage in peaceful magic, you can't engage in violence. So, as a loophole, they've got the Vidams, who are the knights who are exonerated by the hierarchs that they commit all kinds of horrible violence. And they're the protectors because if you look at the fine print of the blessed hierarchs, they are no fun. You got to be pacifist, you got to be alone, you got to do all this stuff.
Care.
Yeah.
And I think you were about to explain that they're sort of all on the ground dead, aren't they?
Yes, they are all dead or dying at this point.
If they are dying, well, it turns out I'm just the person for the occasion.
Unless somebody kneels on their neck first.
Oh
geez,
gosh.
you didn't say there were a bunch of dying people here. I also have like medicine.
Would you like to assist me, Anushka?
I would totally like to assist.
These
Right.
dying men that just saw Anushka try to save an already dead person.
We
Yeah.
have a bad track record here with
Well,
with the
I mean,
dead
this
Well,
person.
I'm
time though,
successful this
Nell
time, so
literally
shut the hell
died
up.
the turn before. Hey, no, to my knowledge or thought process rather, easier just to let these guys die painlessly.
And I believe, just to clarify, medicine doesn't apply to first aid. You need first aid for that, I believe. So I'm not
Well,
rolling
this
that
isn't.
d12.
No, it does apply. We only make you take the favorite bonus once.
Okay. Boop. Hey, there you go.
Uh,
5 successes to save people with the
yeah.
assistance.
I mean, if you look through all, I'm playing one of the sample characters in the book. And you may have noticed all the sample characters all have academics with the favorite use of medicine because Rafferty's played this game before.
Right. I meant like the medicine gift, which is long-term care, versus first
Uh,
aid, which is actually immediately healing someone.
Well, I can't think of the game host who would say no, it doesn't apply to first aid.
Okay. Well,
Yo,
5 successes.
I
Hey,
would be that guy.
You would be like.
Yeah, well, it's the
okay.
difference between a Nightingale long-term care versus a I don't know, I got no example. EMT.
Well, at least on this roll, 4 or 5. Well, I'm pretty sure they're probably fine.
Yeah, so 2 of them were dead when you got here, of the 5 of them that you find. But the other 3 you managed to stabilize. 2 of these are in the process of recovery. Like, they're stable, but they're not speaking anytime soon. The third one got away with relatively minor injuries and is well, he's talkative. He grunts in pain. They're all boar. This one sort of grunts in pain and asks you to return his shield. He can't reach it. He has this beautiful it's a metal shield, but their armor has this inlay of a polished wood. It gives them kind of like a Guardians of Nature type vibe to it. And he just can't quite reach it. So he's like, please, please, I need not be separated from my sacred arms.
I'll go ahead and like move it closer to him, but I'll say you ought to rest for a little bit. You and your friends are all terribly injured.
His mother probably told him with it or on it.
Sorry,
I'm
what was
even low.
that?
Oh god.
Don't you mean wife?
His wife, yeah, probably. Depends on how old he is.
No, it seems more like a thing wives would say.
Yes, well, he's grateful that you returned his shields to him, and he says, Lieutenant, bless you. I, uh, demon, we let him get away. Uh,
No,
I must tell the
you
others.
warded him off. He's left, and he will not haunt you anymore.
Stern
Oh.
glare.
Knowing wink.
He says we can't be sure.
Disproportionate grimace.
Oh no, a whole conversation happening above this boar's head.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
he
mean, if they
says,
were anywhere near conscious before, they would have heard me shouting how much I agreed with Hugo and Nell's beliefs that these people should be, stricken from the face of the continent. So,
On the other hand, of course, the Doctor has no ability to bluff or deceive people, so it might be entirely seen that he's just trying to make him feel better.
yeah,
But
it's
he
quite
is correct that
clear.
he's gone and won't return. So
That's true. That's true. Um, well, this guy is in a tough spot because he's not really in a position to attack any of you or defend himself or defend his grove. So I guess at this point he will say, "You have done us a great service, but it is still illegal for you all to be here. Um, if you wish to avoid the wrath of the blessed, I suggest you leave post haste. This is the best advice that I can offer in exchange for our lives."
Okay, bye. Wee.
yeah,
I don't
just
need to be told
watch.
twice.
Yeah, watch Anushka leave. Like, well, guess that's
It's a sacred place of magical power. I'm off like a prom dress.
not illegal if we don't get caught. Like, I'll go ahead and finish off the bandages and go. Well, I hope to you and your friends a swift recovery. And no one will ever know.
I was just thinking of
Disappear into the distance.
that whitest kids you know sketch where he actually shoots the other hunter. And the buddy's just staring, George, nobody knows if there's no survivors.
Oh gosh,
Oh God,
this
it was one of
blast
those
from the past there.
situations. So you know what? As you're getting up to leave this boar, he's gonna grab your sleeve, doctor. He's gonna say, "You speak, uh, you speak with a Burgess accent. Why do you travel with these uh, foreign soldiers, monsters? I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with monsters. As you guys know, tensions are high currently between Doloro and the Vortipois. Um, so yes, so uh, why do you travel with these men? Why do you suffer their presence here in our sacred groves?"
The Doctor sort of thinks a little bit and tries to resist saying like, "Well, because I got some pretty good coin out of it."
Mm,
So he's sort of saying that for a moment and tries
that's
to
maybe
like
not
come up with
fly.
more measured, wiser words and says, I believe there is more good to be done by these folks in this world, and I will see that they are doing it in good health. That is all."
Mm. He kind of just stares at you as you get up. Then he just doesn't have the strength to get into a real argument, make a real argument over it right now. But you can
Right.
tell that there's a little bit of like a disdain in his eyes.
Right, and I'm not necessarily here to argue with him, and he did tell me to leave, so now's the parting goodbyes.
Yeah, and you earned your karma for the day.
Yup.
All right, so you guys, you can feel a change in the air somehow, like a chill on the wind, as you cross into out of the grove and into just what would be considered typical sparse woodland. Um, it's almost imperceptible, but there is definitely something different about where you are now. You know that you have crossed the border, the boundary that separates the two, and you are positioned now back kind of close to the road that leads away from Tuskdun and sort of marks the halfway point between this grove and Nell's house by the lake.
Right, and if I believe so, we only stepped out for a little bit to go say hello to these friends. I think Connor is waiting for us.
Connor is waiting for you. Connor was absent for this adventure back at Tuskdun. What were you up to this morning, Connor? I imagine it's still probably like morning, pre-midday.
Hmm. Well, all his friends are diurnal, so he's probably just having a hard time being awake and still trying to adjust to all that. But I'd say he's training Potter in his etiquette lessons, preparing him to become a noble and finished knight.
I like that. Um, how do you think Potter is doing with these etiquette lessons so far?
Sir, there's too many spoons. That's the only time you'll get an accent out of me.
You know, it was worth it. All right. Well, as Potter is staring like he's trying to do quantum physics math, calculus in his head, staring at the spoons arrayed before him. You see the rest of your party um return through the door, looking like they've seen some action. I imagine that leaves a mark on you rather than just taking a stroll through the woods.
Hmm. Yeah.
Remember to
Excuse me.
threaten them in some way.
And I'm quickly becoming well known for that on this channel.
It's it's the Connor School of Negotiation.
It's the mafia style negotiation, isn't it? It's a nice shop you have here. Be a shame if something happened to it.
Yeah, be a shame. Be a shame. Think of the children. Um, all right. So, you guys, Tuskdun, you've been given free passage to Tuskdun, and you've also been given a writ. And Borneo, the head of the Lysaemon too, has offered to give you guys free passage across the river towards Burgess, if that's where you want to head. He warns you that, of course, things are going to be difficult for people traveling with avoirdupois colors. We established that Harmon is not changing for nobody, and he's also larger than all of you. So at this point, it might not even matter if some of you decide to disguise yourselves if you're going to travel as a group. Um, but you do have a writ now that gives you permission. It's basically a warrant for the arrest of this Rodolfo individual. So if you have the opportunity to show it to people, it might ease your progress.
Yes, I do remember that. Thank you for reminding me, though. That's probably the only reason I do remember it. But
No, no, that's fine. It's a lot of little details. And trust me, if I didn't write this stuff down after sessions, I wouldn't remember either because I have a terrible memory.
yeah, I have it on my sheet, but I didn't look at it, so I wouldn't have known. But so we're still waiting for the doctor and Harmon and Anushka to come back, or
That's
did they
right.
just?
Oh,
They
I
just
came
arrived.
back almost immediately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do like the conceit that Onishka wakes up, sees Harmon and the doctor are gone. Sees Connor downstairs teaching Potter, says, "Fuck that, I'm gonna find the doctor and Harmon." Flies off to us.
Yeah.
The moment there's danger, possibly, fuck that, I'm back to Connor and Gary.
Putting that hiking to use.
All right. Well, I guess so. Anushka came and went, And we're just waiting for
No, we
everybody else
can't.
to
You
return.
even responded to us
So,
coming back.
Yep. Everyone's
Oh.
back at Tuskdun now. Tuskdun, I'll say,
Okay.
is it's not a bad town. It's pretty well built up. It has its own walls, and there are shops you could purchase things here. Again, you still kind of get dirty looks now and then, or people respond poorly to maybe your non-Dollaro accents. But in general, you can get supplies here if you need them. Otherwise, let's see. I'll drop up to the other map. I think the trip shouldn't be too far to Burgess, but we can find out. So, we've added a couple dots on this map. This square down here is Egerberg, which is another small town in the Avoirdupois territory. This right here, where our marker is the town of Tuskdun, which is where you guys are now. And if you look, basically, if you catch a ferry, you just go downriver to Rugis.
Just a
Um,
quick matter of concern.
Yeah,
You guys think that the guy went to Bruges, right? Bruges, rather.
Bruges.
That would seem
Bruges,
to be
whatever it's called.
well. That seems to be where his estate is anyway, or any property he has.
All right. My question is this. Do you guys want to Carmen San Diego this guy and keep him on like high guard the entire time? Or do we want to deal with a different matter, give him time to lower his guard again, and then come after him?
Right, because the alternative is we could go after his bandit associates.
Actually, I was just at the
Exactly.
syndicate.
And that's Egerberg or the Syndicate. Well, to be fair, I think the last time we discussed the Syndicate, they mostly operate out here in Fermerauge.
Yeah. Connor can go see his
Good.
family again. Re-up his wealth or whatever. Do we have a goal to go after Rodolfo's bandit gang?
No,
Because if
but
not,
yeah, but we're looking. The problem is we don't even know if Rodolfo's alive or dead.
right, that's why you would go to. That's why I think the assumption was to go to Bruges. But like I'm saying, if he's still alive, then he's going to be on
Well-
high guard, and maybe giving him time to drop that guard again might be worthwhile.
Well, I'm a little worried because he knows mind control magic, so you don't kind of want to let those guys run around. But he might go
Right,
back.
but we're
to his
never
bandit.
gonna. Right, but we're never gonna catch up to him immediately. He's gonna have time to do something.
Well, his bandits might know where he is because he might have gone. They might know where his safe houses are, or his secret stashes, or anything. I mean, they might know something.
Right? No, I mean I follow you there, but what I'm pitching here is that maybe giving him time to cool down and hey, nobody's followed me in the last couple of days. I might be okay. He might lower his guard again. Do like I have Griffin and typing in one channel and Red is typing in the other.
Yeah, right.
I was just taking this
Don't
moment to buy
usually
an
get to
ability.
see.
I was just going to say that if you guys, I had meant to offer the goal of interfere with the attack in Egerberg, if that is something you guys are interested in doing as a goal, you could add that. That should have been added last session when you guys read the letter, but
Mhm.
it didn't really,
See,
it wasn't a situation where
didn't
someone was
register.
offering
That's
it and it
why-
didn't
What was the wording?
That's why I am somebody who asks, is that a goal? Because if I'm not
Yeah.
incentivized as the player to go after it, fuck those people in Edinburgh. I got other things to do.
Okay, so I what was the wording on this again?
I just put it in the chat. It
It's
would
in
be
the chat.
interfere with the attack on Egerberg.
Right. Okay.
It does seem the more pressing matter, and, well, I guess if there's something to stop if we're going to stop this war from happening in the first place, stopping the attack seems like the thing to do.
Well, it's already on. The war is already on, but I feel completely different now. All of a sudden, I feel like we should help those people in Edinburgh.
Harmon, suddenly you've changed your mind. I wonder what came over you.
Well, Edinburgh is Avoirdupois territory, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I mean it's Avoirdupois owned, which means that those are people we should help. It's not a change of mind. It's just shift in priority.
It does at least make it easier to travel there.
It's true.
So it's also
And you guys do have directions leading you to the location of the hidden bandit camp. Let me see. There was a letter. I think I posted it in the chat. Um,
by the way,
way
the
up in the chat.
initials on the letter were N and Y, right?
Correct. Yep.
And we assumedly already know what one of the N was. So second lieutenant, name starts with a Y. Keep an eye out.
We think it might
Hopefully
be a
these people
raven
give us
named
their
Yvette.
real names.
We
I
did
don't
have some
remember who
clue.
that is.
We did have some clue that there was a raven named Yvette.
Yeah. Yves.
That might be the Y.
Yves.
Assuming that these people give us their real names every time we talk to them.
Correct.
Right. So Connor, what's your decision?
I say we go take care of what we can do at Eckerberg.
That is now also
Sounds good
typed
to me.
out because
As
you're saying
Harmon-
Eggerberg, and I keep thinking Eggberg.
We even joked about that last time.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. Taking a trip.
Yeah, so we are.
What do we know about
Trip.
Eggerberg again?
This is what you know, and I'm going to assume you guys know this as you have several people who are native of Vortipois, probably know about most of the Vortipois towns. Where did I write this down? Yes. Okay. So Eggerberg is it is a smaller town, but it is definitely a town with a a bustling population in the Avoirdupois territory. It is one of the locations of the signal towers, the Avoirdupois towers that have currently been the target of attacks by by you guys assume Rodolfo and his rat bandits and cognoscenti men. The other thing that Eggerberg is known for is it is a ranching town. It has several farms nearby where they breed the genets, I believe. Yes, the genets that are prized by the Vortipois knights, mounted cavalry. In this game, again, the livestock are all basically dinosaurs. In this case, you could think of genets as sort of like long-necked, limbed, running dinosaurs that are
Yeah,
renowned
fastest mounts in all the realm.
fastest mounts in the realm. Exactly. So yeah, that's what you know about Eggerberg. Uh,
I mean, what about
that and
size?
I was going to say that, and that there is currently a group of these rat bandits nearby, planning an attack on Eggerberg.
What's the size of Eggerberg?
Why you got to do this to me, man? Why?
Well, I mean, it helps to do a visualization, right? Is it a small ranching community? Is it a thriving, bustling trading community? Is this the place where the Rinaldi knights that used to patrol the roads got their
What's the
mounts?
precise
I mean,
demographic makeup of the town?
Ooh. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
what's their
that's a really good
political
point.
stance on the dealings with
That's a good point.
anti-lifers or pro-lifers?
My problem is that I don't have a good for numbers when it comes to population size. But
Well, I'm not asking about like
yeah.
specific numbers. I just mean like, is it like a town? Is it like a village? Is it a...
It would only be a few hundred people. There's only most places are way under 10,000 and most under 1,000.
So
we're
larger
still in
than a hamlet, smaller than a village.
We're still in an agrarian economy. Most people are living out in the farms. For every acre of town, there has to be 9 acres of farmland to support it. That's a rough, estimate.
Wow.
Right, right.
Okay.
Well, that's why I brought up the fact that these are the high class mounts, and if this is the place that the Rinaldi knights used to get theirs, then it might have become a bustling community.
Oh no, the Rinaldis raised the destriers. They raised the war mounts, and they haven't done that for years because the Rinaldi suck.
Oh, I thought since the Avoirdupois were a vassal state to the Rinaldi, that they might have outsourced.
It's definitely possible, and it's
I saw
and
the yes, but then you went and muted, Raph, so none of that has come through.
Oh
Sorry.
no.
I must have double clicked there. No, the Aberdapaw are a great house. The 4 great houses of Aberdapaw, Biscobay, Doloro, and Rinaldi are peers. The Rinaldi have seniority among peers, but the Aberdapaw do not formally recognize the Rinaldi as above them.
Really? Because the king vassalized the himself to Rinaldi.
Yeah, that's been an issue. And that started some war. He submitted to the Rinaldi rule, but technically on the books, and that was also like 500 years ago. So it's a big contention. But technically, the Aberdapaw are a great house, so they technically. If the Rinaldi proved unfit to rule, the Aberdapaw would step in and gracefully take over the entire rule of the entire Calabria.
Gracefully.
Well, we already had that discussion. It would lead to a war across the Isle because every other would also do the same.
The Genet breed. Yeah, the breed of Genet. Because there's like a kind of a subtle joke here where the Aberdapaw had to breed a mount that ran faster than they did. So they breed the fastest. The Genets are the fastest mounts. The Rinaldis had the war mounts, the destriers, which are the scariest ones. You guys have been in a game where somebody actually had a destrier, right?
I have been, but I don't remember them ever using it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's always that scary thing in Ironclaw, the first time someone does mounted combat, and they go, holy crap!
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's something I always wanted to play.
It's incredibly
Yeah.
deadly. It is still incredibly deadly in these rules. It's not like your D&D.
Because it's
But
something
there's
where
also
like
quite an investment for it.
they can attack. So I actually haven't had the experience running mounted combat yet in any of my games, but I was looking at the rules. They can attack and they have like crazy body stats, right? Like they can
Like
use
3d12 and change.
Yeah. Right? Plus great mobility as well. So you could just kind of like get to anyone.
And if you have a
stomp on 'em.
lance, you can use the mount's body instead of your own body. And then people
Yeah.
get hit by it and take 12 points of damage, and they go, holy crap.
Yeah, I really like how my Battleier has tilting,
Yeah.
which is specifically for that kind of fighting.
Very cool.
I
Wouldn't
just
you need
don't.
Spring
I'm a
Strike though
giant.
to make most use of a mount unless you know exactly how hard it's going to drift?
If you look at the mounts, some of them actually have Springing Strike.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd imagine the mount would need the gifts, not the person riding the mount. But then,
Well,
yeah,
you
that'd be
can.
pretty cool.
The mount can make use of your movement gifts, I think.
Ooh, can they?
It's
No,
been a while since
when you're riding the mount, you use the mount's gifts. That would be silly to go the other way.
Okay.
What we do is I ride the mount upside down, so that I flip the mount over and then I start running. And then I flip back over
This is
again.
the
The mount
world of
starts
Final
running.
Fantasy.
Well, it's a trick I learned in the circus.
Look, unless you guys are buying a Genet while we're here, we're looking for Rodolfo. I've also been
Are we there
wondering
yet?
if it's Eigerberg or Ergerberg. If it's Eigerberg, that means they're named after the spears. And if it's Ergerberg, they're named after Erghais. God bless the ring.
I think it'd probably be Eiger.
Sounds like that's an R before the G, yeah.
It's probably Eiger.
Eiger?
Well, but people might be pronouncing it Egerberg with an accent, but if they were proper German, it would either be Eigerberg or Ergerberg.
And then the people across the rivers just goes, oh, it's Eggberg.
It's Eggberg, yep. They make the best eggs there.
Also, why would it be proper? This French inspired?
I mean, yeah, we're in Avoirdupois. Although, I mean, there seems to be French inspiration for a lot of the names in Calabria, right? I am no history student and know next to nothing when it comes to that part of the world. It's just not my zone.
Well, the Doloro are mostly inspired by German pagan, which is why they have a lot of Germanic, if not, and sometimes French names.
Right, but this town is somewhat deep into Abattoir territory, so.
Yeah, borders change.
Also true.
This is, I don't know.
This one is
most
currently
of the history,
under
the other Abattoir don't fuck with each other.
Yeah. This one is
Well,
currently
whatever
under
so apparently we have intel that there's going to be a war zone.
that there's going to be an attack, certainly.
By bandits.
From who?
By
Raiding
bandits.
Oh, more of the unflagged bandits thing.
Right.
I was going to hold on a second. Let me actually pull up this letter because I can't find it in the chat. So I'm going to repost it. This is the letter that kind of led you guys to this conclusion in the first place. Boom. That actually might be too tall to fit on the stream, but I'm going to read it as well. All right. The letter that you found in the hidden in a book in Rodolfo's quarters of the Lycemon 2 house read as follows. The goat and his rat brood request your presence for the attack on Eigerberg. While northern troop movements have pulled some forces away, the Avoirdupois are smart enough to leave their remaining towers defended. I assured him that we could handle it, but perhaps due to the delay in payment, he seems to think that he can throw his weight around. I am this close to convincing him that his own tail is a salad. I relish the day our mission is complete, and I may personally inform him of his own expendability. In the meantime, I await your orders. We are currently staged at the nearest hideout to Eigerberg. It is considerably less defensible, but so far we have had no unwanted visitors. I will include directions in case you wish to see to this matter in person. Signed, Y.
If this was like a detective game, I would say, oh, there's a couple of lines in there that seem very much out of place. Clues, I say, clues.
Well, if I might be bold enough, they did say it is considerably less defensible. That seems prime for an attack. If we head to Egerberg and rally the defenders to head out before and take care of this threat with us, we could easily surround them and have this done in a day. Or, well, that's how warfare works, right?
Sorry, repeat that second to last sentence.
If we rally the defenders to go out to the attack, we can surround them and have this done in a day.
The defenders of Egerberg.
Yes.
Hmm.
But the town's near defenseless.
It said that there were defenders there that specifically have stayed there to defend the towers. Which is what they were trying to burn down in the first place.
Great.
Mm-hmm. So there'll be people we can convince once we get there.
I just don't know if be enough people to be worthwhile. Because if they thought that there was enough people there that they could attack them successfully anyway, then the only difference that's going to be there is going to be us. And numbers wise, I mean.
Well, if there's at least 4 people there, then we can double our numbers.
You understand I'm not arguing against you. I'm just trying to think tactically about this. And so I don't want to say, hey, you 4 people come out here with us so you can die so that we can accomplish a goal.
Well, we could go biblically on this and hamstring their mounts and burn down their supply train.
I'm sorry,
Just
we can go what on this?
Biblically.
What was the word you just used? What is that?
Oh, out of character, I'm sorry.
You've never read the good book of Salumer?
No, I have not.
Well, let me read it to you on our journey.
I think you'll find that that's called a treaty. That's a treaty on Salumer. It's not a Bible on Salumer.
Well, it is a book.
True. So we're gonna go booklical on these people.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Booklical.
They'll never read what's coming.
This took a dark turn. All right, so you guys are heading to Eigerberg.
That
I'm
seems
real
to be the
disappointed
case.
if one of these bandits is called Salad Tail.
They are now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It is the second in command, Relish. Relish the rat.
Yeah, I looked it up. Bible's just a fancy word for book.
So are they opening to get dressing down from their superiors?
Who? He didn't use the word
relish
salad.
rat.
Yeah, he didn't use the word salad.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry, it took me a second. Because dressing? Okay. Okay. I gotta put an end
It's
to this.
salad. So
Our
all
entire
over my head.
soundtrack is just a continual drum roll.
Yeah.
You understand that
Yep.
we're using all this, and they're attacking your ranch.
Yeah. You know, it's painfully clear now.
We got a leaf off of this
They
and
should have
go
been.
somewhere else.
Yeah, they should have been pirates. Attacked 1,000 islands.
Well, that's at my
Oh.
coastline. We're way too far away for that.
I mean, I'm out.
Oh.
I got nothing left.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's perfect because I don't think I can take any more. So let's head to
Also, do you put
Igerberg.
relish on a salad? Real
No, that would be really gross, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sounds
But
like it.
all right, so you guys approach. Let's figure out how long this is going to take. Looks like
Well, this takes 5 minutes. So
yeah, Anushka can get there. Can ride like the wind.
the jet plane that she is.
Whoosh.
So let's whoosh. Let's whoosh there, Anushka, and yeah. So as you come to this town, you can see that it does have one of these large windmill-like looking signal towers that does seem to still be standing and operational. You can see that there has been a guard posted around the tower of no less than a dozen soldiers, and that the local barracks that has usually houses the defenders of the tower seems to have more soldiers in there as well. Currently, the ones that are on guard look alert, but you can also see off-duty guards that are kind of like aloof or loafing around. The town itself is business as usual. People are carting their wares. There's a marketplace, and you can see there's sort of like a covered stable, sort of an open, basically the Genet market. And you can kind of see merchants haggling prices and exposing the teeth of these Genets to potential buyers. Where do you want to go first?
Before anyone ever actually considers buying a Genet, so know it's going to enter into someone's mind. Remember, your skill is capped by your skill in that. So,
Oh,
I'll
I've
just
played
shuffle
mounted riding
along.
recently.
Who's got animal handling?
Oh, guess who does? Potter.
Oh
So
my
he could
god.
lead a cart for us. Or just kill the animal outright by trying to speak to it.
Yep. Trying to save it. Don't worry, girl. I got you.
I just want to point out, since we talk about how great they were, that I don't think anybody has any skill to really get that going.
Not yet.
It is the riding skill, by the way. I said animal handling, but riding
We
skill.
knew what you meant.
What we would do. Thank you. Thank you for reading,
Well,
for
it's
translating
for
my.
carts and stuff, but I don't think it is for driving.
Yeah, vehicles would be different. Would be probably for like boats and things.
Well, Connor, where are we heading?
Well, I guess I should introduce myself to the mayors and warn him of the coming.
That would be very
The mayor,
wise.
whoever's in charge.
Okay.
So, what are you guys gonna do? You gonna come with me in my little retinue of soldiers, or you have other things you want to do?
I don't know if I would suddenly just bail on you. I mean, other than the time we just did.
Yeah, we would never leave you. I mean,
But
we did
I
like
did
earlier
explain
today.
that. I mean, I did explain that before, is that I was just looking for one person. I didn't need to bring a gang of 5 knights and a lord commander.
It's true. It's true. You do have quite the party right now. But yeah, it's
Wait,
straightforward
how
to
many knights
find.
do you have with you right now?
How many? 3?
I believe I have 3, and then there's Potter.
3 plus Potter. So yeah, you got a crew. You guys could play like touch football if you wanted.
Weeknights on CBS.
So yeah, you're able to find the mayor of the town. He is an aged raccoon who has a bit of a stoop to his posture, and seems to be incredibly busy, shuffling papers and barking orders at several scribes that are attending to him in his quarters. It takes you a while to gain an audience, but once you do, he'll only let like 3 of you in at a time. His office is not really large enough to accommodate your entire party, and he says, um, "Yes, okay, you have 2 minutes. Exceedingly busy here. What can I do for you?"
Out of character, I assume I can take in the doctor, um, Anushka, and Harmon.
I mean, it would just be those two. If you only take 3 in the office, clearly
Yeah.
one's not going to be the giant. And I assume you want the 2 other player characters and not the NPCs.
Yes.
And we assume you do want yourself.
Yes. Okay. So just trying to figure out who's there.
No, that's good. That's good to know. So yeah,
I mean, I'll wait outside. I'm just an assistant.
I mean, it really doesn't matter, because otherwise it's going to be an NPC in there who does nothing. So it might as well just be you.
Exactly.
The other option can't be me, a giant.
Well, I'll come with you, Connor.
All right.
okay.
Well, then, good.
The people who
Very
can
good.
read the letter should go in.
Yeah.
Still not
We'll have
me.
the letter in him. Yes, good mayor. I'm sorry to make a bad day worse, but I have a dire message for you, and he'll read over the letter and then give it to him because, of course, he can read it.
Yes, you can see his lips are moving as he kind of like skims it himself, and he says, "What is this? Salad? I have no.
Keep
Oh,
reading.
I have no meaning." Yes, all right. Yes, yes. This means nothing to me. I don't know.
It means you have an enemy at your gates.
But who is this Y person? Was this letter delivered to you? I don't have
It
any.
is a letter we captured in the possession of a malefactor and spy. He's been trying to foment war between the Abattoir and the Vaslov Jakoba, and we are here to try to put a stop to that and to his coming attack in your town.
Okay. I'm going to ask for a roll at this point. I'm thinking will and negotiation.
All right.
And anyone who's in the room can assist on this roll if they would like. So I guess that would be the Dr. Anushka if she did stick around.
Right. And which stats we rolling?
It would also be, Doctor, unless you're going to add anything verbally, I would say it would be will and presence. Just trying to make yourself look official.
And I'm sure there's other evidence we can present that would maybe give us a quote unquote equipment bonus.
Like what?
Well, that letter, what we know about shit.
I know, man. I'm testing all of your. I'm testing
And I have
everyone's
a bad memory
memory.
to begin with, but
Not there. Can't argue.
yep.
Possibly even important.
Yep, you get your D8 bonus.
Well, let me
Yay.
see. If I could think of anything to help you out here, I would. I can. But I'm not sure it would actually help. You guys do have the vials of blue liquid potion, sort of the sedative potion that you got off of the apothecary that you also found in B. Lycée Montu's quarters that was given to her by Rodolfo. But
Yeah,
that's maybe kind of a tenuous thing to sort of push. You do have the I assume you still have like the cloak and the club that you took off of the rat bandits outside of Harmony.
Yes.
But again, those in themselves do not have any identifying marks on them. So I don't know if any of that would give you a plus in this case.
Right. Well, since I am dealing with polite society, would etiquette be
Yeah, I
useful?
think so. And the doctor succeeded,
And
so you do get your bonus for that. Bonus D8,
yes.
right? Because the doctor's not a he's not a
Yeah, I'm not a
helper.
team player. I just have a lot of will.
Well,
All
apparently
right.
that's all that worked out for me because that assist did nothing.
Yeah.
My etiquette is crap. I'm trying to teach it to Potter, so I was all thinking about spoons and shit. While I should have been thinking about negotiations and
It's gonna be an attack line or something, right? I was all thinking about spoons and shit.
You still got a success though. Just from
That's
Connor's sheer
good
force
enough.
of will. All right. So, you state your case, and the raccoon, he looks impatient. He's nodding along with you, and he says, "Fine, fine. Listen, if it will get you out of my office, what would you propose we do? Assuming this threat is real."
For that, I'm still staking out a plan. I don't know your numbers, if we should even make use of any of your militia,
Hmm.
or if we
Well,
should have you stage a defense here while we make an attack and lead them out before they are ready. There's all number of things we could do, but it would require us knowing more about your forces.
all right, all right. Well, listen, I do not manage that the movements of the signal tower guard. They operate independently, but I can show you to them, and with my blessing, you can discuss with them what you plan to do. And you have my leave to take appropriate actions, so long as they don't uh, endanger or divert resources from the defense effort, which is currently our primary goal. So
That
you
is the
have my
enemy's
blessing
primary
otherwise.
goal as well. We are going to try not to make it easy for them.
And I'm sure whoever bandits intend to attack us, that we will be quite defended from them with your help. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Now, if you don't mind, I have a meeting in 2 minutes, and I need to prepare.
Yes.
Good day.
Interject a thought in here real quick. I know I'm not in there, so out of character thought.
Hmm.
Would the refugees not have passed through here?
This is further north, I think, because it's up here
No,
at
this
these
is south
exits,
of
right?
Annette. No, it's here.
Yeah, we're down
Down,
here.
down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is
The
kind of like the
You
refugees
trail
escorted
probably.
everyone took,
everybody.
so.
Oh, I thought you escorted them down to Annette, and then from Annette, like they could have passed by any of those directions.
I would say it's definitely possible that some of the refugees came down this way.
I'm only proposing it because if they had, there might have been talk about, us,
About our
the
bravery and
people,
heroism.
the people that saved Harmony, Harmless something. I think his name was Harmon.
I think his name's Harmon. He was super cool. Yeah, you know
I
what?
don't know. I'm just saying that word of mouth.
Yeah, it's definitely that is definitely good consideration. Um, I don't know if it would have necessarily changed the way this went, but that's something you guys should try in further
Well, I was also
negotiation.
thinking about how to talk to the guard captain. We didn't get
Yeah,
a word or a writ or anything from Harmony
that's
from
true.
that
That's true.
guy. So word of mouth though from the escorted refugees might, add on to a story.
Well, now here's the other question: did you guys? I'm trying to remember what gift you received from that goal. Was it
It was either
insider with
insider or
someone?
local. Let me look at the sheet.
Check the sheet.
I sold them back in order. Local knowledge of Harmony.
Okay. All right. So if you guys had Well, I guess this is not exactly the same thing as local knowledge of harmony. This would just be, yeah, is there a chance that there are refugees there who would tell your tale? Um,
Well, I
yeah.
assume the normal thing for a refugee is, "Hey, what are you doing in my town?" Well, here, let me tell you my story.
Let me tell you my tale of woe.
I don't like people wandering through my town.
Yep, yep.
Well, let me get a drink and I'll tell you my story in a sad southern-like fashion. His
Let me
name was
weave
the
you a tale.
Dude.
Very good. Yeah. So, I'm gonna say if you guys want, I'll roll for it. There's a chance that anyone in this town has heard of you from the refugees, assuming they came across a refugee. But again, I think that's a perfect thing to roll for. I'd roll a d6, and on a
Yeah,
success, they
I
have.
my local knowledge of harmony.
In fact, we might even
Hmm.
meet somebody who knows Potter.
Where did you
That'd
guys
be
meet
funny.
Potter?
Didn't Potter come from Bruges?
No, he came from that one village that we had
Yeah,
saved.
Mage Cross is way down here.
I like how
oh.
super distant Connor is from everything. Is that you can't remember exactly where Potter comes from. He came from that one town we saved.
That was a while.
My
That was a while.
sorry, my shitty memory. I should have actually written that down.
Nah, that's fine. We've traveled quite some distance so far in this adventure. But yeah. So yeah, you guys have free reign of the town and of the barracks, where the current captain of the guard is reviewing maps of the local area.
I suppose, again, this is your forte, Connor, with tactics. If there's anything you need to say to the guard captain, I'm sure he can. You two can work out a good plan.
I mean, I'm going to counter that with maybe not forte, but responsibility.
Well, I like to be polite.
I like to be blunt and direct.
Manners, Harmon.
Very fittingly.
No, just Harmon.
Well, could I invite Harmon to join this talk? Because,
I
of
mean,
course, Connor
I
does
imagine
respect him
we'll
as a
all be
warrior.
there. I just imagine we'll all be there.
Well,
I mean, nobody else has any pressing matters in the town, right, that they have to go off and do?
Right, it's the office that was cramped. The barracks and where the guard captain is apparently isn't as much. So
yeah, so we'll explain the situation like in probably a more concise way than we did with the mayor, so we don't end up confusing him this time. And if he's convinced of the reality of the situation, then we can start in on actual working on the strategy of the battle, since he would probably know the area, or at least know people who know the area that the description points to, the
Were the
directions.
directions actually there? I know the letter refers to them, but were there actual directions, or
There were
was that
not.
like,
Yeah, there were actually.
yeah, a missing element?
Sorry, hold on. Yes, attached to the letter, there are actual directions and landmarks that would help you find the place. If that's what you're
Okay.
asking.
So my concern was that the letter was the only existent piece, that it references a thing that was kept on the person that had the letter and
Right.
not actually with the letter.
Yep. But
Yeah.
no, the directions are attached to the letter, so you do have that information. The captain of the guard is a broad-shouldered horse, who, in the traditional avoirdupois plate armor. And as you approach, he sort of regards you coolly, says, "Hello, what is it?" And then when he sees Harmon, he goes, takes a step back and has to kind of like look up to you. There's not many people he has to look up to, but Harmon, you're one of them. Um, and as you explain the situation to him, he nods with sort of a look of patient concern. However, at the end, he says, "Well, I can tell you what my orders are. We have been specifically sent here to reinforce this signal tower. It is um, this is our only directive, essentially, and to divert effort from it, well, we'd have to have a pretty good reason. This letter is Well, it is curious, but I'm not sure that it warrants diverting our personal men away from their posts, if you understand.
Who supplies you food, water, general supplies?
The avoirdupois, military, the local town.
Yeah, usually the town, wherever any force is, they just take materials from the locals.
I look
Yeah.
over at the doctor like I was talking to him.
This was an out of character comment.
Oh, well, I assumed that you were being a smartass in character.
No.
I was sorry. I don't mean to sound a smartass out of character myself. I'm saying that I'm talking to the guy. I wasn't I know the answer. I'm
Right.
doing the lawyer thing, or I'm leading him.
Into
Well, I
an
shouldn't say the
elaborate
lawyer
trap.
thing. I'll say leading is actually something you don't want to do as a lawyer. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, it's the bad lawyer thing. But yeah,
It's
he
the movie lawyer thing.
yeah, he'll give you it is the movie lawyer thing. He'll give you the kind of like a curious expression and say that the barracks here has always been supported by the local town tariffs.
Right. So, should the town fall to bandit forces, then who will supply you then? It seems to me that you're beholden to protect the town in order to carry out your directives, because without those, you'll be. My apologies. I'm not intelligent enough to know the proper analogy to use here, but I'm sure you can imagine.
I want to roll, Harmon. I want to roll from you, and I know this sucks because it's your dump stat, but I do want a mind roll because you are trying to reason with him.
What about tactics? Minded tactics.
I like that. Yeah, that sounds good because this is sort of a tactical move.
Right, Harmon's trying to convince him that moving out is a better tactic than sitting around.
Do I have a
Would you
favorite
like
use of
a
tactics?
assist?
Yeah, sure. As long as it's not from Potter.
As long as it's not
It'll
from
be
Potter.
from Connor.
I love this idea that in character, Harmon has this like, Potter, you just stay away from me. Like, I don't need your help.
We all
Don't touch my
all
shit.
have our superstitions. Yeah, we all have our superstitions. Mine's just right now involves Potter. I've seen most people die. 1 by my hand, 2 by Potter's hand. One of them have been from enemies, and one of them have been from friendlies. Do you have you have the thing to upgrade a D12, or is it just a D8?
That's just a D8. I don't have a team player yet.
That was good though.
Nice.
Aha! That's the analogy I was thinking of.
There you go. All right. He does consider it. You make a fair point. And he does realize that this is something you all are serious about. You aren't just a bunch of peasant farmers who thought they saw something in the woods. You're coming with not only with reason, but also with a determination that impresses him. He says, all right, well, still it is a breach of my orders, but I can lend you several of my men, no more than 4, to investigate this. And if they do, if there are, well, if these bandits exist where you say they do, then we can deal with it as an enemy force. But until then, the most that I can offer you is some backup in this way.
A dumb question, Raph. What's the
What?
normal amount of fingers people have in the setting?
Oh,
I always considered 5.
13.
Well, I don't know if we're cartoonish and we're all 4 on one hand, or if we're
Okay.
real, like
I'm
us,
going to make a
and 5.
statement that I originally didn't think was going to be controversial, but then turned out to be.
Hmm.
So it's always been my interpretation that the higher your species attribute is, the more feral of a critter you actually are. So if you had like a low stat of D4, you'd look very, very human and thus have 5 fingers. But if you were the higher you go up, you might drop to only 4, perhaps even 3 fingers.
The controversial part of that, though, is that number is adjustable, which means at some point you lost a finger.
Well, some people are just born with 4, and some people are just
No,
born
I
with
mean
5. It's
increased trait species is what I'm saying. Is that number is adjustable, which means that if you say somebody with a
well, you grew 3 feet at some point when you became a giant, but
Yep.
hey, so in the I could not. It was not mandated how many fingers characters have. I imagine the Glovers and the Haberdashers have their work cut out for them when they have to ask someone, how many fingers and toes the client has.
I just haven't looked back at the art to see what the general consensus in the art was. Well, no, I'm just asking because as a matter, we use a system of tens because we're used to 5 and 5. Right?
It is a myth that that numbers are based off of how many fingers people have.
Well, myth as it may
They used to
be,
count knuckles, so we had base 60.
I do count to 10 on fingers.
You're right. So, but they use a Roman numeral. We use Roman numbers. So, anyway, yeah. So, might have 5, might have 4. It's up to you. I gave up a long time ago telling people how many fingers they were supposed to have. It's not the kind of person I am.
Not the place, not your place.
Rafferty
looking
says
at
he
like
doesn't tell people what to think. It's crazy.
It's cool. I don't think it actually matters that much. It is interesting because I never even considered it. A lot of the art in the second edition book has 5 fingers, but sometimes they don't. Most notably, the boar only has 3 fingers.
Yep, depends on who was drawing it that day.
Well,
Right.
also, your avians don't typically have hands. So.
Sure, they've got feather
I'm a
fingers.
cat. How many fingers do I? How would I even have fingers at all? I have wings.
No.
Well,
Well,
technically,
you would have the clawed things at the end of the. Yeah.
yeah, the wings are technically hands in a way. They have like fingers to them.
So I guess I have like 20 fingers because I've got the wings and hands.
Yeah.
Well, no, don't. Bats typically have those little clawed indention things at the ends of the wings.
I know
Right,
it's
those would be
creepy.
fingertips.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
normal birds like a
your
raven
icon has them.
technically doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was to say like a bird, like a raven would. You're not a raven. Anyway,
No,
sorry.
I
It was just a
can't-
side thought I was thinking about when he said 4, and I'm like, wait, is that just a normal way of thinking? If you only have 4 fingers, I'm going to cut it up into a
into a
rational
4.
divisible that I'm normal used to.
That's very interesting. I was gonna ask, like, wait, how the hell did we get here? What happened? But yeah, I like that conceptually. I think that's very interesting.
I think the place
But-
we left off was 2 successes on tactics.
2 successes on tactics.
No,
means this
we left
guy
off
is-
on him giving us 4 guys.
Yeah, this guy is going to give you 4 soldiers, and even that he says is kind of breaching his rules a little bit. But you all seem like you know what you're doing, so
And Connor, you have a fine force behind you.
Connor, you have a posse.
Hell yeah.
Technically 8 people.
Yeah, we have 4 militia. We have the number of knights at your immediate service. We got Potter.
Well, technically it's 2 knights and a scout, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 soldiers and a scout.
All right. So
We have Harmon to put people
that's
into the grave
that's-
and me to pray over people.
Pray
yeah,
over
we're
10
Final
graves.
Fantasy 8 now, right? Or 10. We're Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah,
We've got the double ranks. Okay.
You the doctor can dance over people when they die.
some might say that would be in Force Spirit.
Well, you do it for the spirits, so they can pass on to the
Oh,
whatever that
gosh.
can't remember what
Don't
it's called.
remind me. Don't remind me.
Silvercore.
So, well, we do have a sizable force now. I guess the thing to do would be to march straight out there. But, well, I suppose we want to at
I mean,
least
I
scout it
recommend
out.
against. I recommend against surrounding them, though. That would divide our forces. We don't have the numbers to make a surrounded attack viable.
Mhm. Well, it would be on you two to discover the proper tactic to take on this.
And we'll have to scout the area out because it might be more advantageous for us to just attack them in their camp, or we might be more advantageous to try to drag them out to a
Oh.
different landscape.
I don't know that dragging
So
them
we'd
out
have
is
to
going to
just
work.
see-
They would probably scattered. They're bandits. They're not a trained force.
True. So yeah, we have to see the camp.
Yep.
Quick side detour entirely. Was Anuvia still injured?
Who?
Name.
Anushka.
Anushka?
Anushka. There you go. Anushka.
I am still injured. I was re-injured during my scuffle with Rodolfo as he fell into the lake.
How many days has it been since that night?
I think we traveled here, so it's been a day, right?
It's been a day. What is it? 6 leagues in a day? 12 leagues in a day?
Usually you can go 6 leagues in a day, 1 square on the map.
Oh, right. Based on the map, I think it's going to be a 2-day travel. Let me just double check there from where you guys were to where you're going. Yeah, that's a 2-day travel. So that
Okay.
would have been 2 days. When
So
you
that's
guys, there's
2
another
days.
day after that, after your fight in the river.
That is 8 additional quotas of healing for you.
You haven't failed one medicine roll, one medicine die roll. Yeah.
Yes.
Hooray! I'm still in pain.
Still
Yeah.
hurts, but
Gosh, that only takes you up like a little over halfway. Jeez.
Yeah, it's where you're reaching 24.
The clock is 24 ticks, so yeah, I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, one more day of rest and you ought to be good.
All
Well,
right.
my typical suggestions say we throw Anushka to fly over it to give us a word what it looks like, but if Anushka's complaining about their injuries, then maybe we should use the scout instead.
I haven't been complaining.
Right, I brought it up
Perfect,
just
Joy.
because I'm like, wait a second, I'm the doctor, I have to keep on top of this.
Yeah, pointedly, the doctor
You
brought it
haven't
up.
been complaining other than that one time I heard you say I'm in pain. Oh, she's complaining again for the first time.
I'm just pointing out an observation that, thank you for the medical care. By the way, it still hurts.
All right. Well, I guess we could send the scout out.
I mean, I'm still willing to serve.
I know. Serving with joy.
Serve with joy in bed for now.
Wow, that was very direct.
And he's a
Didn't know.
noble.
Didn't know those two felt like that about each other.
Whoa.
I didn't say serve whom, did I?
Wow, now you're
So
calling
don't
her slut.
assume,
Jeez.
Okay, so
and don't assume I meant that. Jeez.
I am literally an
or
ass,
out. It's longer.
So it sounds like Anushka's being tasked with scouting yet again. Is that correct? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Well, I was thinking about
And she's
being
literally
awake.
the best at it.
Well, you guys
I'm
also
pretty
have a
good at
scout
it.
tracking with you, right, Louis?
Mm-hmm.
Who Harmon got
Yes.
to know in his camp out, but still didn't remember his name, I think.
So Louis could do an assistance with Anushka, and that could be good.
Okay,
That's how
I
you
like
want
it.
to do it.
All right, so we're gonna do another one of these. I actually kind of want to split it up into 2 separate roles. I want to do searching first, and then I might have you guys roll for stealth, depending on how that goes. So we're gonna do body searching, and let's do body searching and endurance. And I'm open to any gifts that you guys think might help you with this. And I'm gonna look for 2 successes. You want to beat a 3.
What terrain are we searching in?
So at this point, it's going to be forest terrain.
Okay, I am a forest critter. And if we're going over long distances, like how many hours is this going to take? Are we just going to a place and coming back? Or are we like surveying a large area?
It is a large area, but I forgot that you guys do kind of have directions and landmarks to go on based on the letter. So It's probably you're going to an area and then you're searching around in that area.
Because we're going over a longer area, would observation instead of searching count?
No,
No? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like.
before an observation would.
Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
No, I was going to ask if it was a large area because of hiking. He said if it's a large area, would observation count instead of searching? But that's a reason when we got rid of searching as a skill. Yeah, no, more. I'm asking because I actually have hiking and endurance, which actually would help out with long distance stuff. Even without the hiking die, I have 3 successes.
Oh, right. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
I'm still
Also,
typing. I'm going to be using hiking as well, and Dead Reckoning to know his way around and not get lost.
I don't
I
know
think
why
I
I
did
would
one that
have
you actually
wanted
give me
that.
the scouts, but
Yeah, well, first of all, are you rolling for Louis the Scout, right?
Yeah, I'm giving an assist,
Yeah,
but
cool.
I
Okay.
don't want to botch it.
I get you. Yeah, I guess so. Dead Reckoning is basically when you've like knowing landmarks, but when you've been to a place, you can't get lost in that place. Is that how it? That's how it goes.
yeah, basically it's an anti-get lost ability. Hiking is the ability to go long distances. Dead Reckoning is the ability to not get lost. Geography is to know where places are.
Okay, then yeah, I'll give it to you. We could even say that Louis maybe has been in this area before. I mean, he is of Word.
I gave you enough to get a D8 assist die.
Cool, and didn't botch, which is important as well. And what time of the day are you guys performing this scouting expedition?
Well, you're diurnal, right?
Louis is a
Well,
raccoon,
he's nocturnal.
so not.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm diurnal.
Yeah, so you don't have any night vision, so we'd be doing this when it's better for you to see.
Let's see. Where's my cycle? My cycle's twilight. That's what I thought. Okay. No, I don't have night, but okay. So you only travel at half speed at night unless you have night vision or echolocation. Hey, you've got night vision, and I've got echolocation.
Okay, then we can go at night.
So we can do this at night.
All right. Okay, so it's dark, but that does not concern the two of you.
Nope.
As you take your you sort of leapfrog one another, one in the sky, the other one moving silently like a shadow through the forest. You follow the landmarks based on the letter, and you hear them before you see them. Sorry. You hear voices before you see anyone, but you can tell that in the dark there is a collection of people whispering to one another. It sounds like the campsite is probably about all told 30 paces across from side to side. You can make out that there are tents set up, but they have been camouflaged by foliage, which is similar to what you saw at the other rat bandit hideout that you came across. This one is a bit bigger than that, and you can detect that there are at least 6 individuals who are currently outside of their tents. There's no fire. And there's 2 people who are getting into what sounds like a whispered, hushed argument. Sorry, hold on a sec. Sorry. Okay.
There is
Anyway,
an army then.
there's a group. I would say you can see that 6 of them are out and about within this campsite. I'm going to say with your 4 successes, you also managed to detect that there's at least one person perched in a tree who is scouting, but they have not detected you yet.
There's 5 successes because
Right.
Anushka rolled, then I rolled, and then they rolled my assist and got a success.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's
Well,
actually
report and observe. So we go. I guess we go home.
yeah, there you go. So you know that there's at least one person.
Did we see any weapons or arms or anything? Cannons, catapults? Were the people armed? Did we see anything?
Nothing like a cannon or a catapult, but you do see that they've got piles of weapons sort of stacked outside one of the tents. Looks like they have spears and clubs.
But no gunpowder. This is like a terribly funded army.
I don't know if you would see these guys and think army. You would think bandits or slavers.
Right, and if they're but like 6 of them, maybe more, like even if it's triple armed with stuff, this place knows they're coming and has armed guys.
Sure.
Well, it's their funeral.
Well, to be fair, they didn't know that this place knows that they're coming. We changed that.
Go us.
It's true. That is true. So you guys are returning back to the group and reporting all of this information, I assume?
How many
Yes.
people were seen?
We saw 6, right?
6 in the camp and 1 on guard duty.
Yeah,
How
there's only
many,
7 of them active, which means there might be 3 or 4 times as many total.
Yeah, I would say how many, I don't know what the word here I'm looking for is not like tents, but whatever you would call places to house people.
Yeah.
Barracks.
Like barracks,
Well, no. Well, I didn't imagine they had a barracks. I imagined they have like individual tents and whatnot.
yeah.
How many
Right,
of those did you see?
Let's say. Sorry, I'm just doing the math in my head. Let's say 15. You saw 15 of them.
Okay, for safety's sake, let's just say that there's like maybe 3 times as many as you saw. Err on the side of overcaution. And what was like the encampment like? Does it have outside defenses? Does it seem to have anything, or is it just an in the air encampment?
It's on a bit of a rise, so it does have more visibility through the woods than than your average like location, I guess. But it's not particularly well defended. You didn't make out any traps or any ditches or any walls or pretty much the only thing in terms of defense that you saw was that they had at least 1 guard in a tree doing watch.
All right, so no like no barricades, no whatever you call it, like walls. I can't remember the name. My brain ain't working.
Yeah, it seemed like their defenses was mostly staying hidden. They did not have a fire lit, and they had this like foliage camouflage on all of their tents.
And the piles of weapons primarily melee oriented, or
Primarily melee, at least the pile that you saw.
because the primary benefit of having an elevated rise to see long distances around you would be a good range defense, be able to take things on at the observation level. All right, well, whatever. Seems like we could just charge these guys.
That's the plan then.
I'm not Connor.
Well, I do have my soldiers can back us up with sling volleys, so the rest of us could just advance under that sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say more there, and then I decided I didn't need to.
Okay. All right, and you guys going to attack now at night, or are you going to wait until daybreak?
I think Harmon's diurnal.
Harmon's diurnal, but all my soldiers, they're only
taco.
typical, so they don't really quote unquote count as major forces. But so we should go for when our best fighters are at their most ready. And what did we get from the town's power guard?
All of the signal guard are horses, so also diurnal.
All right, so let's go when the vast majority of our forces are ready for attack.
Sunrise.
Sunrise. I like it.
Maybe
Okay.
we should approach by the direction of the sunrise.
There you go. Hide
Yeah.
in the sun.
We have all night
On our
to
backs.
approach him from any direction we wish.
It's true. That's true.
So Connor
yeah.
and Harmon are going to be leading the charge here. There's one thing I'd like to do in preparation for when we get out there and we're ready to go. I'm going to use my newly found ability, Flesh Ward.
Ooh.
And I think I'm going to actually choose Connor for this because I think Harmon probably is pretty okay. Connor, roll will.
I'm kind of surprised you
boy.
didn't take healing.
I was thinking that too, but I realized, wait a second, I'm already a doctor.
Right, but I mean the ability to get rid of injured and like
Alright.
like that.
So, Connor, when we go into this battle, you will have 4 points of Flesh Ward. After you soak and use armor, you can reduce damage by up to that much and remove points of Flesh Ward. Instead of
Nice.
yourself taking damage. This lasts for up to 8 minutes, so basically I'm doing this as soon as we get to the area.
Okay. Good thinking.
And it refreshes the battle, etc. I'll tell you about it if it happens.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what
I
does
never
this-
realized that you got bonus points. I always thought Flesh Ward was just 1 point. I was like, shit, that's even better than I thought.
Oh yeah, it's rolls
So it
plus
gives
that.
me 4 points of soak.
Yes.
Or-
4 points of soak after your
Cool.
normal
All right.
soaks. Additionally, if you had piety, you could roll a d12, but well, now's the time to convert and express your piety to Solumare.
That's what I love about the white magic spells. Hey, would you like to convert to my religion? If you do, all our magic is more powerful.
That's pretty good.
Would you like to survive this battle? Have you considered? Have you considered maybe not dying
found
it?
But also, if we do this attack at sunrise, technically that's another day. Seems like a healing check could be in play.
That's true. I guess I could go ahead and do my medicine for Anushka in the morning here. For an additional 4 more.
Not feeling today, are you?
Definitely not.
Just
Damn.
pull up those 2 successful rolls I've made with 4 more successful rolls.
Let's just have the doctor fight.
So, how much do you even have left then?
Yeah, Anushka, you've been getting serious medical attention.
Oh, I still have about 6. It still takes 24 of these things to get rid of it, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
Yeah,
huge...
no,
It
just
just moved
he's
along.
rolled 12 so far today.
doggy dog.
Yeah,
Come here.
it still takes about 24 to get rid of it.
Well, if you're gonna keep complaining, I'll hit you. Put you back down.
Put
Complaining.
back down to 0.
You asked me, and I told you.
That's a complaint.
Give me none of that back talk. Don't like no sass.
Apparently, that works.
Moxie. I don't like
Harmoner,
Moxie.
Harmoner.